and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a magical day, and this video makes today even more magical. I know it's kind of weird not doing this with an actual face to look at, but yeah. So if you guys don't know, this is my first episode of Artists Become Art. That's how I decided to call it, because I find it pretty playful and fun and pretty interesting to use, because it's like, what do you mean? So yeah. So let's first explain what's this episode going to be about. Now, this episode was picked by Patreon specifically, and what Patreon does specifically pick for this episode is for it to be a journey video, a Angelina Jordan video, which you saw from the title, and the medium being used is oil paint, mainly, and more mixed media, which means every material I can find in the room. Anyways, so how this started off and what this voiceover is going to be is quite interesting, because I know that some of you would have liked a time lapse, and that's why I'm including another video posted tomorrow in a few hours. I don't know, we're gonna see. But this video is going to be a bit shorter than the actual time-lapse, because I'm going to be doing a voiceover, and I don't know if it's going to take as much as the time-lapse, but I do want you guys to see the whole thing, so if you just want the time-lapse, you can just go and just listen to some chill music while watching it. A bit more about our piece. So I started developing it, and I thought of the artist, and I was like, okay, let's make it a bit more orangey, a bit more purpley. Let's add a bit of pink, more intense than the actual skin. Let's use the black underline for the white that she does for the wings. Let's do them on the flower crown. How do I do the hair? Let's lighten those parts of the hair so that we actually see something, even though it's going to be covered. The really fun part of it was obviously the throwing everything and connecting the three faces together. That's when everything actually started to take off, mainly because it was when I started to really nicely connect them together. I used a lot of material. I used oil paint, acrylic paint with water. I used oil paint with water. I used glass paint, which is the huge purple black stuff you see me throwing at the middle towards the beginning of the part of actually working towards blending them. Yeah, I had to even cut the camera because it became a mess. Brilliant. Yeah. But then I cut off and added the parts when I worked on it a lot more. I let it dry, and it ended up being really cool. The white watercolor parts ended up being really amazing, and I really enjoyed them. They added some nice spark and connected the actual blending part to the faces, which were a lot lighter than the purple blending part to the hair. But yeah, it was so much fun, and I also like how it connected the t-shirts without adding purple, but with adding orange and watercolor and white. And it was just overall really fun. Now the next fun step, which I think mixed media is just the thing that I really like and enjoy to do. It just really sets off the piece for me. But you do need a good base, so the oil start was really important for me to go well. So yeah, then I went over with pencils and added details to the hands, because I was always consulting my mom. My mom's a bit my art teacher when I don't have art lessons in school. She's my art teacher at home, because she used to do painting as well herself, and she has a lot of painting supplies that I actually got from her. She doesn't use them, so it's okay. But yeah, I got to use watercolors and color pencils on the faces. I added streaks and stuff poking out, then added water to blend them a bit more in, but I like how it looked, and then it actually ended up being a bit what? So yeah, I ended up smoothing out the faces, and that's the final product you see. Now I'd like to start talking about our inspiration, which is Angelina. Now, why did I want such a look, such inspirational artist to be used? You might be wondering, and the thing is, I always think of Angelina and I think about, first of all, jazz vibes, really beautiful passion, a love for her family, overall pretty beautiful and colorful. Mainly, I just saw the artist and I was like, that top loose blend of colors and watercolors and all these. But I just thought like, this would be just beautifully done just to blend everything together and connect the 3 stages of her life until now, because she's still growing and it's beautiful to watch and witness. So yeah, that's kind of like what the artist gave to me. I used quite a lot of purple by the end of this, and to be honest, I now think that it might be also because purple is kind of like also a spiritual color, and I think she's always connected to her grandfather in some way. She never forgets, she always remembers. She even made a beautiful song for every one of us who have lost someone and want to remember them, which is Million Miles, and I still love that song, still listen to it, and it's just beautiful. And I think that's where the connection came from, to where I wanted these colors and that flow from these artists. And it just gave me Angelina vibes when I saw it, and I saw the elements in the picture coming together and connecting itself to bring me this result. So let's start from the beginning. First time I ever heard Angelina was actually when I heard Bohemian Rhapsody in her AGT live performance, America's Got Talent. And I was blown away by how beautiful her voice was, how smooth, but also how rusty and almost like vintage. I don't know if you can say that for a voice, but yes. How interesting, isn't it? I just call the voice vintage. Oh well. And then I Put a Spell on You came to be placed, and I love that song. It's such nice retro vibes, beautiful, witchy, magical, and it just set everything off. And I currently have like 40 something videos on the channel of Angelina commentaries, and like you can see the growth and the love I have for her. It's just beautiful, and I just really enjoy it. But yeah, like every single performance she's done, I got to learn about beautiful jazz artists, or I got to listen to her redo beautiful songs that I know of, like California Dreaming, All of Me, just overall beautiful songs. Fly Me to the Moon, I love that song, and her young self performing it is just so beautiful and magical, and like I just needed for the piece a beautiful image of her young self with her beautiful flower inspiration on, because her later inspirations with her beautiful hair wouldn't have fit the piece because it would show a bit too much on that side of the canvas. Instead of equalizing and connecting all of it, it would have been too much. So I needed her young self with flowers, because that was a bit more of her beautifully singing and enjoying herself, and like her story, the beginning. I think Flowers is just the perfect start to everything. And how you guys explain her story, her book, how she's barefoot in all of her performances no matter what. That beautiful story just touched me from the beginning, I think. What's pretty beautiful is the connection with her family and everything, and how her grandma paints and she uses it, like she uses her pieces and you have something from her, and then she goes and writes songs about her grandfather, and she even sings them for him. Like one of my first songs that I reacted from her, and it was a beautiful song. It had her grandfather's picture at the background while she was singing, and it was like Happier, which I love that song. Beautiful song with her grandfather's picture at the back. When I first asked and you guys told me that it was her grandfather and she was singing to him, I just felt like she's such a beautiful soul. It's amazing, and I absolutely love that. she just flows through her years of creating, inspiring, and being so beautiful and kind as a person. It's just amazing, and it inspires so many people as well. Like, all her fans like always acknowledge that she's such a flower girl, beautiful, and she's also the jazz queen we all wanted. Like, all her Whitney Houston inspiration, everything is just there. You can hear it. It's beautiful. Every song she picks has such a beautiful meaning to the lyrics. And we have some really, really good songs. But how she sings them with what soul and everything is just beautiful. And that's her like current years. And what I felt about the middle, I just wanted a bit more flash, and that's why the hands are actually kept into that watercolor essence I kept, and the pencil work I did. Like, I kept it there. I didn't like remove it like I did with the faces, because I feel like that was one of the most creative parts of her years. And then I left the hair in her later stage, like her now stage, to be the most colorful part, because we didn't have the flowers, first of all. So this actually kind of looks, if you look closely, to flowers. I'm not gonna lie, it doesn't really, but it gives me that vibe because of the main colors there, like yellow, red, purple, white. It's just giving me flower vibes there, just because of the splashes and how it ended up looking. And it actually reminds me of like her face and everything. Just gives me like her Jazz Seventh Heaven single that I love and absolutely adore. Obviously, like, you cannot like deny it, she is that jazz queen. I absolutely adore her jazz vibe and state of mind and how she creates these songs, and I just wish for her the best. It's just beautiful to witness her growth, and her progress is just amazing. And until now, the latest performance I've done of hers, it's just so beautiful how she just takes a song and just puts so much soul in it. It's just amazing. Her most recent singles are just beautiful, and she's just so much more mature, which I think is why the final phase has more orange and less pink, which adds, like, I think pink to orange. Orange is a bit more intense, which is more of a statement. She's more mature, she's more conscious, but more conscious of what she is becoming and what she wants to do and change the world to be. Just overall, I'm just so proud to be able to create a piece like this. Obviously, I would have liked to add more detail, but those were the 2 weeks I was given to myself to work on, and the result is actually beautiful. I know that the young Angelina is the one that actually needs a bit more work, but it's also the one that has the most detail if you actually look at it the most. And like, I need to learn how to do eyebrows and eyelashes for all three of them. But you get what I mean? Like, I know and I see a lot of corrections and things I need to do. But for now, I love also how it ended up looking unfinished, because it actually like signifies how Angelina like hasn't yet finished. She's still going. So this is like a drawing process that's not gonna stop for me either. Obviously, I'm gonna start a new project for you guys. Patrons already voting for the next one, don't worry. But this is always going to be a piece that I can come back and touch up and add to the noses and add to the detail. And I don't know, maybe actually work on charcoal at some point. I actually don't know if I'm gonna do anything with like prints and stuff. You guys will have to tell me if you're interested in such a thing. If you are, I'm gonna try my best to do one. So if you want to tell me in the comment section. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Like, I had a blast making it. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications. Albert, my little owl, will be sending you. And I'll see you guys next time in my next art video. Next week, you guys get a teaser of who's going to be the next artist, materials used, and type of video it's going to be. It's not going to be a journey video again, maybe. It could be, actually. with a different artist, but who gets to pick is actually Patreon. So if you guys are interested in getting to see and pick, go to Patreon. If you guys want to get sneak peeks and give me feedback and actually correct me and add like add colors to the actual piece, you get to go and actually pick the last and highest tier that I have, where I actually post pictures of the piece in progress and I get to listen to your comments and everything. I've already done that with Angelina and I'm gonna continue doing it for the next artist. If you're interested, just go and take part in it, just become a patron in that tier. If you just want the artist, just become part of the general first or second tier of my Patreon. No worries. I hope you guys will enjoy this video and it's just gonna flow through. So yeah, I'll see you guys next time in my next art video. Bye bye!